So for me, I used to define myself from my past, or from things I could not do, or from things I'm not good at. But I never used to look at what I'm good at. I never used to define myself from what I'm good at, and also define myself from who I want to be, like what I want to grow to. Hi guys, how are you doing? How have you been? This is your life coach, Muthoni, and it's something that I've been thinking about, defining yourself, and it's come across in most of my coaching sessions, how you define yourself. So if you want to be successful, if you want to achieve your goals, if you want to be focused, you have to define yourself for you, and you have to define yourself in a way that aligns with the success you want, or the kind of person that you want to be. So what is defining yourself? Sorry, I have something in my eye. What is defining yourself? Defining yourself is knowing who you are, what you stand for, what your values are, and who you are as a person. Defining yourself for you. For most of us, we define ourselves from what we were told, who we were told we were growing up. For example, wewe unajua wewe usikiangi hesabu, wewe hata ukafanya nini hesabu huwezi sikia, or wengine wewe ni mlazy sana, you are my laziest child, mtoto mvivu. That is how you define yourself, by laziness, by mimi najua sikwangi mjanja kwa hizi vitu, I am such a bad listener, so that is how you define yourself. And for most people, unapatanga mtu amesema mimi nakuanga mean, like I am so mean, I'm not into people, and that's who I am. Newsflash: if you define yourself like that, you will never make a point of wanting to be better or wanting to change. Higher. Let me define myself as Muthoni. This is who I know I am. I am very results oriented, and I really truly I do believe in myself, and I am resilient. Like I can withstand a lot because I know what I want in the end. And another thing about me is I am so focused on getting better every day, on learning new things, on becoming a better version of myself. I just want to improve myself every day. That is who Muthoni is. A lot of people have defined me. A lot of people have said a lot of things about me when I was growing up, when even right now people still define me from my media days and say things about me. But that's not who I am. I chose to define myself for me. And I realize sometimes we define ourselves from our past. The past can shape your future, but it should not define you. But what do I mean? For example, if you've been in relationships that have been failing, you define yourself like, hey, me, I can't keep a relationship. Hey, me relationship zangu. Me wanaume uniacha tu. Or things like, you know, mimi I think ni wale wenye nikishika pesa inaburuka tu. Pesa yangu iko na mabawa. Money can't hold my hands. I can't keep money in my hands. So unajipata you operate from how you define yourself. So if, for example, you think wewe ni mjinga, you will never do anything to get out of that situation, because you're already comfortable with being that person. So it's really important to define yourself for you. And also sometimes we define, when other people say something about you, you think, wananijua, walisema niko hivi, so I must be that. You can be whatever and whoever you want to be. You can choose whoever you want to be, by the way. And for me, I used to define myself from my shortcomings, from what I could not do, from I am such a bad communicator, I have such confidence issues. I used to define myself in all sort of manners. So for me, I used to define myself from my past, or from things I could not do, or from things I'm not good at. But I never used to look at what I'm good at. I never used to define myself from what I'm good at, and also define myself from who I want to be, like what I want to grow to. Defining yourself is one of the most important things you can do, because how you define yourself determines how you will act or behave. If, for example, you say, hey, me, I'm usually so lazy, me, I say work out, me, I cannot work out, like I can never diet. It means whatever you do will be eating unhealthy, never working out, just wallowing there saying, oh, I am so fat, but then you keep, I'm so fat, or I'm so overweight, or I'm so unhealthy. But then you keep saying, I can't work out, I'm not cut out for that, but then I can't stay without food, I can't, you know those things. You operate from that level of you can't. of where you see yourself. How about you define yourself by the way, I really value healthy living. I value health and I value a balanced diet because I know what it does to a body, you know. So how you define yourself determines how you act. So if you define yourself by mimi nakwanga sisi kwetu tunakwanga wajinga sisi kwetu tunanga do by the way hata huyu brother wangu mwingine ako jela. Another lady was telling me that I had a coaching session with her. She was like, unajua sisi in our family no one has ever had money. Like I think we're bewitched. We can never have money by the way. We just have enough for ourselves. And I was thinking, you know, when you tell yourself that, you will never go out of your way to make more. You will just stick to that. You're just in a comfort zone. It was really important to tell you guys, please define yourself for who you are. I want you to think about who you want to be and think about who that person requires you to be. Think about what you want to be. Maybe you want to be results oriented, you want to go after your dreams, you want to make a lot of money, you want to self-discipline, you want flourishing relationships. I want you to think what you want and think about what that requires you to be, right? And I want you to define yourself by your goals, by where you want to be, not where you're from, not what people think you should be, who people think you should be, or what your parents told you, or people told you, or your teachers told you. I want you to define yourself by the person you want to be, the person you're trying to be. This is not to lie to yourself, this is not to trick to yourself, but I can tell you for sure, when I started defining myself in a better way, when I started defining myself by what I want to be, I looked at what that would require of me and I started defining myself like that. I started telling myself, Muthoni, you're not stupid, you're goals oriented. I am very resilient. Like I know what I want. And one important thing, I always want to make myself proud. And when I do something, I do it first for me, then for the other person. Like self-satisfaction is so important to me. When I started doing that, I realized my things started to fall into place. I started getting into better relationships, having better friendships, being in a better space. My anxiety level started dropping, you know. Define yourself for you and define yourself by the person you want to be. So defining yourself is a matter of choice, because how you choose to define yourself is how you choose your identity and how you choose the person you want to be. I don't want to live a life that's full of shortcomings, of impossibilities, because I have limited myself. Do not limit yourself. If you want to be successful, define yourself for you. I chose to define myself for me. I am a life coach. You don't define me any other way. I know I'm crazy about emotional and mental health. I know this is my dream. I know this is my life purpose, and I'm gonna give it my all. Like I believe in myself and I define myself like that. Choose how you want to define yourself. And I say, please define yourself by the person you want to be or by who you want to be. Don't define yourself by your weaknesses and your shortcomings, because they limit you. You operate from a level of your shortcomings, not from a level of your strengths. Am I making sense? So how do you define yourself? The first thing you need to do is to ask yourself who you are when you are alone, without your friends, without maybe that fancy job, without anything else. When you're alone on your own, ask yourself, who am I? What defines me? What do I want to be? Define yourself, my people. Let nobody tell you who you need to be. This is your life. You define it for yourself and you live it for yourself. Stop defining yourself from what other people are saying about you, from what whoever told you need to be, and then you start living a life full of lies. Let me tell you what happens. So you are told this, you're supposed to be this and this person. You are told wewe unapenda kubishana sana, ama wewe unajua unanga mwelekeo, and then you decide wewe una mwelekeo. As in, that's how you subconsciously define it. But then there is who you are. Who you are. Outside the people telling you who you need to be, there is who you are authentically. So who you are will keep fighting with who you define yourself to be, right? For example, like me, I used to feel I could be so much more. Like I could do way so much, but I was never getting out of my comfort zone to go out after my dreams. I was just sitting there with the dreams, which basically were just dreams. But when I started defining myself to tell myself I'm living my life for me, I am very results oriented, I'm gonna make you proud, Muthoni, and I'm gonna go for my dreams no matter what. I'm gonna be successful. And I'm gonna be those people who we look up to. We're like, okay, that guy has built an empire. That guy is driving what and what. I decided I'm gonna work so hard and I'm gonna be those people. Because I can. Because why not? Why not you? Why not you? Hmm? Anyway, define yourself for you. And if you want us to work on defining yourself, on working on the self-limiting beliefs that you have, on how your past is holding you back, book a session with me. I will write my number down here and my email address. You can send an email, you can make a call, and then my assistant will get you a session ASAP. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Have a good afternoon.